Well, hello everybody. It is always a pleasure to be sitting with you and chatting with you. We talk about so many things. Today is my opportunity to talk for a few moments about relationship building. And relationship building is an important component in the field of understanding individuals who are victims of a disease that is considered to be terminal. But it's also important with regard to individuals who provide care, particularly family-related care, to those victims. Over the course of my life, there are events that have taken place that at the time I really didn't understand the significance of the events and why they were being presented to me. I always wondered, why is that happening to me? Why am I being exposed to this? What is the message that life is trying to teach me from this experience? Later, I had the opportunity to read a remarkable book entitled God Winks. And God winks, if you can imagine, that's exactly what it is. And I used to think that's kind of a silly concept, but in reality, it's not silly at all. Think about this. Something happens in your life every day that's of significance. Sometimes more than just one something. It can be many somethings. Do we always notice them? Of course not. That's one of the subjects of my book. I never noticed my journey through Alzheimer's with Mom. But the thing about it is that even if you don't notice it, there's going to come a point sometime down the road in your life where a stimulus is going to suddenly open that little door. And in that door of your brain, where all of those unconscious adaptive memories have been stored that don't seem to have any connection with how you're living from day to day, suddenly you receive this amazing revelation and you wonder, where did that come from? It comes from the fact that you were there once and it was planted there for you for future use. That was something that I was reminded of recently when I had the occasion to meet a young lady. Well, I call her a young lady. She's a bit younger than me, but certainly not my age. And I don't think of myself really as old anymore. It's funny how we've changed over life. Old is really way over here. For me, I think I'm having the best time of my life yet. But she went through an Alzheimer's battle with her mother, and eventually her mother passed away. Her mother was actually so much of an invalid that she was placed in hospice care. I tried to talk with her so many times because I could see that what was happening to her was that she was breaking down emotionally, and because of her emotional breakdown, she was breaking down physically. And then it occurred to me, there's a reason why I got to know her. She did survive. She is better. Unfortunately, her mother did pass away. And now she is somewhat paying the price for the behaviors emotionally that led to the physical breakdown in her body. And she's trying to get back to her normal self, but already her marriage has suffered because of it. Her relationships with her friends, she became estranged from the people that were there that really wanted to be close to her, such as her friends in church and in the community. And she also did damage to herself because there were times when she just could not eat. She would refuse to eat, and therefore she began to lose weight at an alarming rate. All these physical problems manifested. And the other problem was that she was so fixed in her thought process that only she understood what was happening here, and that nobody could possibly understand the grief that she was going through and the trial and the difficulty that she was going through. She cared for her mother. And unfortunately, because she wouldn't listen, she shut me out. And I really wanted to tell her my story, and I wanted to tell her the story of other people that I'd met. Anyway, as I said, her mother passed away. Recently, I sat with her and I talked with her. We had a conversation, and I could see that she was beginning to emerge from this darkness. Have you ever heard of post-traumatic stress syndrome? There is actually a PTSD-related condition that caregivers have at the end-of-life moment when the loved one has passed away and is now deceased. It involves a myriad of feelings, and I'm not going to go into detail about them, but they are very, very heavily documented, and many articles about that can be found on the Alzheimer's Association website that I tell you about, alz.org. Suffice it to say, in my conversations with her, I look at her and then I remember some of the lessons that I learned many, many years ago from watching a friend who went through Alzheimer's, and I didn't really understand what was happening. But I remember the words that she shared with me one day, and these are telling, because this is the thing that you need to begin to realize. You can't fight the battle alone. You can't be involved in it alone. And I had this moment come back to me of a remark that he made while I was talking with this lady, and I shared it with her. I said, when you watch a loved one have Alzheimer's and you watch them as they change and you watch them as they fade, first fading away in their mind and then eventually fading away physically until they pass from the scene, it's like watching someone you love die twice. I never really gave a lot of thought to that until I talked with her, and then I realized that little memory in my mind was reawakened and triggered because of the stimulus of talking with her as she poured her heart out and talked almost at times in weeping terms of just how much regret she carries. You see, here's the problem. Because she was not willing to get the help, was not willing to listen, was not willing to reach out and ask for friends to be with her and to seek the company of those who understood and cared and going through the same battle she was, unfortunately for her, now she is paying a dear price for it. And her quality of life may never return to what it was before that moment. And that's the tragedy of it. And that's part of the reason why I tell you, if you want hope in Alzheimer's, besides just hoping for a cure, hoping for a way to slow it down, hoping for a way to keep that loved one as long as possible, you need to first remember you have to take care of yourself. Caregivers, listen to me. There are resources available to you. If you do nothing else but go to the Alzheimer's website at alz.org and you begin to study, research, click on the links, view the videos, study the primers, look at the groups that are there to provide counseling, association, and those that meet together in a common factor to provide support to one another. I want you to know, and I know it with my passion in my heart, because this I believe more than ever before with my mother. If you don't share your issue and bring people into your life with you who can lift you up, you will pay an even greater price once that loved one has passed away. Because you see, the loved one will pass away really not knowing what happened to them. You have a mind you don't forget. And sometimes those memories can be extraordinarily painful and damaging. So open your mind today and remember what I said. Don't ignore the winks. Don't ignore the clues. Don't ignore the opportunities. Don't turn away. Don't shut yourself in. Today, start fresh, start anew, and resolve as I did. I'll make a difference. I'll make a difference in my mother's life, and I will make a difference in your life.